welcome Kumar Swami, Shivoham, Rajender, Rajan, Ajitek, and Veena. Shivoham, my dears, and welcome to the call. Dattatray, Girishamma, Roop, I can't see, Bridget, Shivoham, and welcome to the call. Siva, Komal, Sagai Raj, Gaurish, Girish, Kiran, respectful Kiran, welcome to the call. And the rest of you whom I cannot see, I can only see pictures. I can only see pictures. And sometimes, and let me start with a little bit of a joke. Sometimes when somebody puts a DP of a picture like a dog, then people say, who are you? Because the DP is supposed to be who you are. So the DP, when the DP becomes like a bird or a dog, that means your identity is at question. Today we have a very interesting question based on a dog. And I hope you all have seen the message. The message that came today is this. And this message is a message which somebody asked my guru. Yes, somebody asked my guru, if man doesn't attain enlightenment, how is he better than a dog or a pig? If a man doesn't attain enlightenment, how is he better than a dog or a pig? Anybody would like to explain this? Why there's such a question and what does it mean? Anybody would like to? I have become cold.
Yeah, Shivoham Guruji.
Shivoham.
Sanjay Das.
Yes, sir.
What I feel that we need to go and follow, because we have got intellect first of all.
Yeah.
Human being is the topmost among all the creatures in the world.
Correct.
We have got the intellect to understand and go in a spiritual manner. So we understand what is what.
Correct.
And dogs and pigs, they are just animals and they go as per their own ways. The intellect is very important.
So what does it mean, Sanjay, if a man doesn't attain enlightenment?
Then intellect is important, I mean to say. The brain, the thoughts, the mind, everything is important. What I feel.
Because if a man doesn't attain, a man after being given intellect, if he doesn't attain enlightenment, then he is no better
like an animal.
Than an animal.
Yes.
So anybody wants to make a comment on that or a question on this, on why such a statement?
Yes. Namaste. Namaste.
Shivoham. Yes, Rajan.
If a man doesn't attain enlightenment, is just like a dead fish in the water, flowing without any purpose, any purpose in life. Without
just like animals, right? Because animals,
just like no particular purpose. Each day lives and ultimately dies, but no purpose in life.
So why do people not understand this, Rajan? Since you're a teacher,
because of ignorance. Because of ignorance.
And why people can't understand, Rajan? What is so difficult?
Because they are not ready to understand this type of.
Because people have learned all the wrong things in life. Is it so?
Yes. Falsely believing some superstitions, etc. They believe that it is all. They don't know the real purpose of life. The purpose of life is to attain.
This is what my Guruji used to. This question came from somebody who asked my Guruji this question. If man does not pursue enlightenment, then what is he? Then Dadaji's answer was he's no better than an animal, a dog.
Animal. No purpose.
Because if a man is to just live and die, then why did he come here? He doesn't ask the question. Why? Why am I here?
No.
So
Shivoham.
Shivoham, yes, please.
Namaste.
Who is it? Who's giving a comment before we move on to question answers?
Shivoham.
Shivoham, Girish.
Animals are born, they eat, they sleep, they reproduce, they die.
Correct.
Man is also like that. Only thing which can differentiate is enlightenment.
Correct.
It is a choice. whether we need to be like animals or like men with realization and enlightenment.
But the irony is, Girish, is just no, out of 100%, 99% of the people are not behaving, not using their intellect. 99% of the people are just eating, sleeping, living, reproducing, excreting, and then coming and going. So we as a group must understand why I selected. Okay, let me tell you why I selected this question today. I selected this question today because we all in this group must understand the importance of this call. This call, we must realize, this call differentiates us from an animal. Sorry to say, I mean, somebody who's not on a call, on this call will be highly objectionable to this statement. But the truth is the truth. If you and me stop seeking enlightenment, then how different are we from a dog and us? See, one thing very interesting, which another thing in my bhajan I wrote, a dog normally has, most dogs, they have 4 legs. Man only has 2 legs because he has 2 hands. With the 2 hands, man can pray. You know, a dog, dog cannot stand on 2 legs. If maybe God had made a dog to stand on 2 feet, he could have used his 2 other limbs to pray. So with that note, yes, we'll get on to question and answers.
Shivoham,
yes.
Pranam Guruji. Pranam Guruji.
Pranam, Kiran.
Guruji, pig is living in stagnant, dirty water, but he feels he is in heaven. You
Correct.
have told us one story that one person was about to die and he had a dream that he will be born as a pig. So he was some Raja, I think. So he told, in next birth, when I become a pig, he told his son to shoot him. So he got birth of a pig, and then he was very worried because he was liking, when he has taken the birth of a pig, he was liking that place only. And then he sent a message to his son, then don't kill me, I am in heaven. So similarly, we are also like to fusso in this sansar. And we are also become ignorant and forget that we have to go ahead towards enlightenment.
Good thought, Kiran. But people who are in samsara don't realize that they are not using their intellect and they are not attaining that spiritual heaven. Okay, good. I think the first question from Yoga Narsiman. Yoga Narsiman.
Yes, sir. The same topic only, sir. Like actually, the duties that we have, like responsibility, like a person doesn't have wealth or riches with him. He has to work, and then he has to take care of the family, kids, and my old mother, father. And when he's doing all this in the duty, like whenever I used to get free time, what I used to do is like watch a good movie or listen to some songs and dance. Like whatever free time that we get from all this, like what we do is like we get into entertainment, like the modes of entertainment, like watch a movie or watch 2 movie songs or some other songs. So it's like that. And all of a sudden, one day when I came to your temple, and somebody introduced me to your temple, and when I read that book, that time only when the thought of something like this there came into my mind. So that's what everybody is going through. Like you had listed down the 3 obstacles: duty, lust, and shame. So this duty is one major obstacle for people to come into this enlightenment track.
Because we don't realize, no, Yoga Narasimhan, the duty we must do, and we all have to fulfill some duties, right? But what we don't realize is we are caught in samsara, what Kiran said just now. A pig doesn't realize what a rubbish life the pig is leading. The pig thinks it's heaven. When we get into samsara, we think we are doing our duty. We think we are earning money, but in reality, don't we realize? The billionaire doesn't understand that tomorrow if he dies, nothing will belong to him. Is it you and me understand? You and me understand that Mukesh Ambani, if he dies tomorrow, not one penny will go with him. You understand it. But Mukesh Ambani does not understand. If Mukesh Ambani understood this today, he would not just continue earning money, no. He would not be running like a mad. See, so, and what he thinks, oh, I'm the richest man in the world. I'm the richest man in India. So So what? So what if you die tomorrow? What will happen? The game will be over. This is enlightenment. And enlightenment is not available to people. And because enlightenment is not available, you talked about, for example, duty and earning money. But just think about it, Yoga Narasimhan. To basically take care of roti, kapda, makana, basic food, clothing and shelter, we don't need to struggle more than 8 hours a day. Anybody can work a little bit and take care of their needs. The need is overtaken by greed. We want more, we want more, we want from cycle to scooter, scooter to car, car to aeroplane. Then there is no end to it. Then we are running, not realizing that in the end of the day, even cycle or aeroplane, whatever we have, we'll have to leave behind. If we realize it, then we are liberated. Then we are enlightened.
So like most of the day, working days, we don't get the time to do anything. Like traveling 2 hours goes, and in the office spend 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, and then come back 2 hours goes. And all you can do is like watch some news and go to sleep, or watch some songs, go to sleep. So that's what is happening.
Yeah,
This-
but that's a very dangerous thing, Yoga Narasimhan. What happens is we are wasting our life on some things, going to office, traveling, all that without having enlightenment. That means our life is wasted. That's exactly what is today's visual. Today's visual is that if we just go on running like mad people, one day we will die.
Yeah.
One day we will die and the game is over. Then why did we live? This is what 99% of the people are doing. They don't understand why they are alive. They are just running and running and running and running. And one day they will run to their grave. It is so sad. This is how dogs and pigs and horses and elephants are living. But man is not supposed to be like that. Man is supposed to understand, I have a purpose. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of my life on earth? Why was I given human birth? Every body will die, but I will not die. I am the Atma, spirit, soul. I am immortal. I am a manifestation of God. This is self-realization. This is God realization. This is life realization. So we need to get into the next question. Sanjay Das. Sanjay Das.
Shivam Guruji,
Shivam Sanjay Das.
I have 3 things to ask.
Yes, please.
And first, you have guided us to meditation. You have explained in details what meditation. Actually, you don't need a music. And you have told us, I get up early in the morning at 4 o'clock, 15 minutes meditation, shut off everything, just silent. Like aha, like yesterday you were explaining what is aha and that. The different types of expression comes. But after that 15 minutes, I do chanting of 1 hour of some religious practice. After that, hymns. This 1.5 and 2 hours, throughout the day, we become fresh. I was in the secular life, working, like yoga was telling, going, coming. But when you start doing all this, 2 times you go into meditation. But the thing is, I wanted to ask you, what is the logic, how we get fresh and that everything, the full throttle we come after doing, 1.5, 2 hours all
No,
this.
it's very simple. Sanjay, you know what is happening, Sanjay Das? When you're doing these 2 hours, do you know what is happening? You are being energized by the power of consciousness, which you don't realize. You are suddenly, okay, let me explain to you. Now I'm going to explain a practical manner. What happens when you keep your mobile phone on with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and brightness in 2 hours or 3 hours? What happens to the mobile phone?
Dead, power supply.
Battery gets dead. But if you switch off the Wi-Fi, you switch off the data, you make the brightness low, you keep the mobile phone in probably in a dormant condition, how long the battery will last?
Throughout the day.
Battery will last more than 24 hours.
Yes.
So what we are doing, Sanjay Das, in those 2 hours, normally, like Yoga Narasimhan said, compare those 2 hours with driving in a van or a bus or with a group of people who are listening to loud music and news, and we are draining our mind. We are draining our mind. Imagine watching the news. 15 minutes of news can kill you.
Yes.
15 minutes of news will tell you who was killed in Kashmir, who was raped, who was murdered, who was shot, who was imprisoned. they will give you all the garbage. They will fill your head with all the junk. And the monkey will never become a monk.
Right.
Therefore, Sanjay Das, what is happening is inadvertently, unrealizingly, you are switching off that 2 hours of draining the body, and you are in turn spending 2 hours in energizing the consciousness.
Wow.
You are not only you're switching off the mobile for 2 hours, you are charging it for 2 hours. You are doing fast charge. So with that fast charge, you have got energy to last the whole day.
Yeah.
But this is
Yes.
I'm just explaining. You asked for the understanding,
logic-
so I'm
the
giving you
logic.
the understanding.
Logic part.
So it is very important. People sometimes don't understand the importance of silence. Oh, silence and consciousness. And when I see, yes, your silence can just be this also. Just
Yes.
deep breathing. You don't need to have that, no, that is an expression in this call. It can be just deep breathing. And the mind being still and the senses being shut off. The ears, the nose, the tongue. Don't do that and keep eating one kadlekai. Don't keep eating some peanuts. Or don't say, okay, and then you have some chocolates in front of you. Keep eating chocolate. No, then your mind is not
And
getting energized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
next
so
question.
much. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, Rajendra Makwana.
Yeah, Shivo Hamer,
Shivam, sir.
from the questions of Yoga Narasimhan and Sanjay Das,
Yeah.
I have a question. It is just like an extension.
Yeah.
That if we are busy, performing our duties throughout the day,
Hmm.
say for at least 10 to 11 hours, like
Yeah.
Yoga Narasimhan said that 2 घंटा जाने आने का वगैरह,
Yeah.
So we are left with hardly 2 to 3 hours max. And in those 2 to 3 hours, if we just, do the bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, karma, jnana yoga, etc., then can we still attain the enlightenment?
So, a good question. I'm going to give you my practical guidance on this matter, Rajendra. I believe this is called the secret of 8 plus 8 plus 8. Have I told you the secret?
No.
No.
The secret of 8 plus 8 plus 8 means that every human being has got 24 hours. 8 plus 8 plus 8. 8 hours we have got to sleep and have shower and go to the washroom and shave or whatever you call it. I call it SSS. So you sleep, you shave, you shower, you do all those things. 8 hours we should give to work. Whatever is our duty, even Yoga Narasimhan said that we have to work, but we should say we limit our work to 8 hours. And the balance 8 hours we should give to spiritual practice. If you are able to give 8 hours to spiritual practice, it's a lot of time. A lot of time. Maybe in sometimes you say, no, my work is 9 hours or my work is 10 hours. So I'm able to give only 6 hours to spiritual practice. Good. But there are some people who will sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. I know people, they would just sleep through as much as they would sleep and sleep and sleep. If you tell them 24 hours, kumbha karna, I call them. So no, you should not oversleep. You should not overwork. Because when you oversleep and overwork, then you are eating into the spiritual time of your life. How will there be Jnana Yoga? How there will be Dhyana Yoga? How you will have time to have silence? How you will have time for other practices of spirituality? So you need to organize your life. Because after all, if you work more, you will make more money. And if you make more money or more name or more fame, in the end, it will all be left behind. So what is the use of spending? I did it. I was working. So this question was Rajendra, right? I was working, Rajendra, 18 hours a day. How much time, Rajendra?
18 hours.
hours a day, 7 days a week. 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 25 years.
Oh,
Can you beat it? Can you beat it? 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 25 years I worked.
amazing.
Then I realized, hello, utho, jago. And I changed. Okay. So next,
All
we have
right,
many
thank you.
questions. Yeah, thank you. Dattatray, sir. Dattatray.
Shivam, sir.
Sure. Bolo.
Sir, how many disciples of Dadaji and your Gurujis have got enlightenment?
I should ask this question, I think, to Ashok Chotwani. Ashok Chotwani is there. Is he on the call today or no? Is Ashok Chotwani on the call? I don't think. You're asking on the wrong day. Ashok
I see.
Chotwani is missing. So
Okay.
honestly, I don't know anybody who has realized the truth completely. Because I believe that people were asking Dada all silly questions. People were asking Dada, I want to open my new business. Should I open on Tuesday or Wednesday? Then they would come and ask Dada, my child's naming ceremony. Should I call Ramakrishna or Krishna? I used to be listening to Dada, and Dada was such a humble person.
Yes.
He would be answering everybody questions. But one thing very good what Dada did, you know what he did? He used to tell me, he used to look at me and tell me, Ravi, this is not for you. You don't worry about it. You ignore all these things.
Okay.
So I don't think, unfortunately, even people who are living with Dada for 20-25 years in Pune, even they, many of them have not realized the basic truth that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the soul. Because see, Dada was not exclusively teaching enlightenment. If somebody comes to me and asks me to teach some basic thing, will I teach?
No.
No, I'm not interested.
Yes.
If somebody comes and asks me, you please teach me. Somebody was there on the call yesterday and they wrote to me, kindly tell you spoke on the call something on a book called Success. Please tell me about success. I said, sorry, it's not about.
Yes.
Because that is an old story. I'm not interested in talking about. So what I'm trying to say is that I don't know honestly. Can you give me 2-3 people in this world who are giving classes like this where only enlightenment? Can you just tell me? I'm searching. Can you find
No.
it? Can anybody tell us where anybody is giving only session only on enlightenment?
No, people are taking about happiness and other amusement.
My apology here. Then my question is that then why Dada was not exclusively teaching enlightenment?
Because God probably had a different purpose for him. Okay, let me explain to you. You all have come to a very interesting question. Are you all ready? Please pay attention. I'm going to explain something very, very important to you.
Because why this question?
Yeah.
Because I'm regularly attending these sessions.
Yeah.
And I keep wondering
Yeah.
why my guru is not talking on these subjects.
Okay, let me explain to you.
Okay.
See, all gurus and all teachers. Dattatray is continuing to your question, so it's not. We are
Okay.
not. I'm merging two
I'm-
questions and we
Yes.
are merging the two
Okay.
questions.
I'm listening.
See, most teachers in this world,
Yeah.
they are teaching ABCD, English, mathematics, science, and they are teaching school children and college children. Many teachers, many gurus teach A, B, C, D up to X, W, X, Y. I teach only Z. So what I'm saying doesn't mean those teachers are bad. No, those teachers are trying to teach from A to Z. They are trying to teach beginner students also. So let me explain to you, Rajendra and Dattatray, why have I chosen? You ask. Nobody's asking this question. I'm asking you this You should ask me this question. Why you are not teaching other things, only enlightenment why you are teaching? Can anybody answer? Can anybody answer this question? Why air is teaching only enlightenment?
Because enlightenment is ultimate.
So why I'm not
I mean-
teaching other things? How to make money? How to live happily with the wife and children? How to
No, but-
why I'm not teaching all these mundane things?
There are so many others.
Who told that? Who told that?
I am.
Dattatreya.
Dattatreya, see, there are so many gurus talking so many things. Why we should talk the same matter? You want to listen to so many gurus, you switch on the TV, you switch on Asta TV, you will hear 100
Yes.
gurus talking 100 different things. You go
Yes,
to
yes.
Speaking Tree, you go to YouTube. But
Mhm.
I could not find
Yeah.
I could not find a course on enlightenment.
Yeah.
I found it very difficult. If a seeker of enlightenment, if a seeker of moksha, if a seeker of nirvana, if a seeker of salvation wants to realize God, how to realize God? There is no class in the world.
Yeah.
And so that is the reason we are concentrating only on this subject. How to realize God. How to realize the true self. Okay, next question.
Thank you.
Kiran Katuria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dattatreya. Thank you. Kiran Katuria. Kiran, you have to unmute yourself, Kiran.
Guruji, Pranam.
Bolo.
I think I am asking silly question, but still I want to know. In the morning, we start with the day with bhajans, then silence, and then reading books, etc. But I feel some of the time of the day, you are not doing anything, and you are not aware of that also. Why this happens?
Because you are caught in samsara.
Because
Some
at-
portion.
at that time, thoughts are also, I think, not there. I don't know what.
Let me explain. No, let me explain to you. You know how old Dadaji was? When Dadaji passed away, you know what was his age? He
Around
he
100?
passed away.
Around 100.
He was 99 years and 11 months old. He was
Yes.
99 years, 11 months and 10 days. Now, even at that age of 100 years, Dadaji did not waste 1 minute not being in yoga. Dada was always in Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Dada was all the time. So here I'm making a clarity, although you spoke about Dada. He himself was a completely realized soul. Did you understand that? Dada was spending every minute, every day, every moment. So Kiran, I'm comparing to Dada and telling you. So when you are spending time in bhajan, you are in Bhakti Yoga. When you are spending time in silence, you are in Dhyana Yoga. When you are spending time in Zoom call and reading books, you are in Jnana Yoga. So what is missing? There is no Karma Yoga.
Hmm.
There is no Karma Yoga to keep you so busy that you are not free even for 1 minute in the day. Dada was not free even 1 minute in the day. Did you get your answer?
Yes, thank you.
You must please do some Karma Yoga. It may mean going to the blind school. It may mean going to the Anath Ashram. It may mean teaching children bhajan. You must keep your day so busy that you don't ask this question. I don't know where my day, what happened. You should not have that feeling.
Yes.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes. Okay, Shivam. Pranam, Guruji.
Thank you, Kiran. Next question. Yes. Jyotri's question. Next question is typed. Jyotri asks, we can't see the soul, yet we know we are the soul. We don't know. We should know. We should realize. Even we can't see our mind, but we know it exists. What is the similarity between mind and the soul? This is, Jyotri is reminding me of one question. You all must be knowing this question, no? The child that the teacher asked the child in the school. You remember that question? The teacher asked the child in the question in the class, there is a madman who lives next to your house. Huh? You know, Sudeep, you know this question? Sudeep? There is a madman who lives next to your house. Huh? Jyotri, please pay attention. How old is he? And immediately the child raised his hand. He said, sir, the answer, that madman who lives next to your house is 40 years old. The teacher said, amazing. Clap hands for him. How do you come to know the madman is 40 years old? He said, sir, it's very simple, sir. Because next to my house, there's a madman who's half mad. Half mad, he's 20 years old. So the full madman, he must be 40 years old. so this is for me, I cannot forget this thing. And so Jyotri is asking this question just because. Jyotri is asking this question. Let me read out the question again. Huh? We can't see the soul, yet we know we are the soul. We can't see the mind, yet we can't see the mind, but we know it exists. So what is the similarity? No, we can't compare like that. Half mad and full mad. We can't compare like that. The mind is a subtle part of the existence. It cannot be compared to the soul. It has nothing to do with the soul. The soul is the power. If you want to compare mind and soul, or you want to know similarities, it's just like asking, what is the similarity between hardware and software of a computer? What is the similarity between hardware, software, and power supply of a computer? There is no similarity. Hardware is hardware, software is software, and power supply is power supply. What is the similarity? Sudeep, you are a technical person. Give answer, Sudeep. What is similarity hardware and software and computer? Sudeep is saying, no, I am not a technical person. So he can answer. So I hope, Jyotri, I hope you got the answer. Jyotri has a follow-up question. Kindly explain the layers of human body, such as causal, physical, and others. The body is made up of the gross physical body, the skin, the flesh, the bones, the bone marrow, the eyes, the heart, the head, the brain. This is the physical body, the hardware of the computer. The subtle body, Jyotri, the subtle body or the software is MIME, mind, intellect, memory, and ego. And the power supply of a human computer, the power supply of the human computer is the soul. So if you want to understand what is, I like to guide you all, my dear friends. I like to make it simple. You know, in America, you know, in America what they call it? In America, they call it KISS. Kumar Swami, you know Kumar Swami, in America, they call it KISS. You know Kumar Swami? You know or you don't know? What is KISS? Who knows what is KISS?
Keep it simple and sweet.
Who told you?
Avinash.
Avinash. Thank you, Avinash. But in India, they say keep it simple and sweet. In America, they say keep it simple, stupid. In America, they say KISS means keep it simple, stupid. If somebody comes and speaks too much nonsense, they say keep it. So my dear friends, I like to keep it very simple. Do you want to understand the human body, Jyotri? Everybody on this call, before we end, at least take this home. We had many interesting points today. I hope there's a lot of take-home value today's call. The human body is like a computer. It has hardware, software, and power supply. It has the gross body, the subtle body, and the soul. It is as simple as that. It is not complicated. It is very simple. But we have to realize the truth that we are not the body, the hardware. We are not the mind and ego, the software. We are the divine soul, the power supply. The moment there is no power, the computer is dead. The moment there is no soul, the human being is dead. We have to realize this truth. And this truth we don't understand. I think there are some pending questions. We may have to take these questions only tomorrow. Anybody wants to say something before we close?
Yes, sir. Kumar Swami is speaking.
Yes, Kumar Swami.
Actually, we can see the mind of other person because the activities what he is undertaking depends upon his mind, because he is doing good karmas means is a good mind. It is seeing a bad karmas means a bad or good, everything will be reflected. Your mind is reflected other person. So you can see the mind, you can judge the mind. But seeing the consciousness is you are stopping the mind only, you can see the consciousness. There is no doubt. That is my idea.
So let us, one of these days, I will talk to you all on the difference between Vasana and Samskar. I hope I will talk tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I will try to bring up this. Please note, I hope I will try to bring up this. Then you will understand what your comment you have made, no, Kumaraswamy. Please remember, we will talk about it. Hopefully, I am going to Kashmir tomorrow. And I hope we have data there, Wi-Fi there, they say that's available. But it's one of my, again, retreats after 2 months to Kashmir. And I hope to connect with you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock from the Dal Lake, like many of you all have seen. But there are two quick questions. I'll in just 30 seconds, I'll try to close it. The first one question from Govardhan. As a human being, we are getting married. Can we attain enlightenment after marriage? Marriage is bandhan. Enlightenment is mukti. Both are opposite directions. If you are getting married and you want liberation, ask a married person, they will tell you. Ask a married person, they will tell you whether marriage is a bandhan, is a bondage, or it is liberation. But if you're already married, then there is no option. If you're already married, then you must try to make even your partner go on the spiritual path, because it's very difficult otherwise. Also, by maintaining Bhakti Yoga, can we attain enlightenment? Bhakti Yoga is the basic foundation of enlightenment. Without Bhakti, there can be no enlightenment. Please be clear about it. There can be IQ, intelligent quotient, but no SQ, spiritual quotient. Is it 100% right for Bhakti Yoga to attain enlightenment? You need Bhakti Yoga. Last question from Shweta. How do I go within and align with my soul? You can't go within and align with your soul. You have to realize you are the soul. You have to realize you are the soul. When you realize you are the soul, then you align with who you are. But you can't go within and align with the soul, because you are saying, how can I meet myself tomorrow? How can I meet myself tomorrow? How can you meet yourself tomorrow? You're all the time with yourself. Can you meet yourself tomorrow? No, you don't need to meet yourself tomorrow. You are all the time with yourself. So, my dear friends, today's question answers, you all have taught me many things. Every day, you all inspire me to speak to you what I learn. You make me learn through my own speech. And you are the gurus, therefore, you are the ones who are teaching me by bringing it out from my mouth. But I don't speak. कुछ भी ना मैं करता, करता सब कुछ तू करता. I do nothing, O Lord. Even I speak, but the words are not mine. The words are thine. All the glory goes to the divine. You are everything, I am nothing. With that words, I bow down to you and look forward to your presence tomorrow at 8. Shivoham, Shivoham.